This is the Farm Monitor. For over 50 years, your source for agribusiness news and features from around the Southeast and across the country, focusing on one of the nation's top industries, agriculture. The Farm Monitor is produced by one of the largest general farm organizations, the Georgia Farm Bureau. Now here are your hosts, Ray DeLessio and Kenny Burgamy.
Do not adjust your TV. Obviously, this is not Kenny Burgamy. Still, a very important asset to the show. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Ray DeLessio along with Jennifer Parson this week. Good to see you again.
It's good to be here and ready to get things started.
Let's get her done.
Let's go. Coming up, the countdown to planting season has begun. And from battling pests to disease prevention, the Georgia Cotton Commission's annual meeting is arming growers with insights on tackling those challenges.
Also, insights from UGA's annual ag forecast as farmers voice concerns over labor shortages and rising input costs. We have got the full report, plus.
Well, everybody, Ranger Nick, coming up a little bit later. You know, if your New Year's resolution has got you stressed out, I'm going to introduce you to a scientist who spends time with plants and understands the benefits of hanging out with plants can have on your stress level. You won't want to miss this. That and so much more starts right now on the Farm Monitor.
With cotton growers facing tighter margins, staying updated on industry trends is crucial. The Farm Monitor's Damon Jones reports from the Georgia Cotton Commission annual meeting where experts discuss 2024 expectations.
Believe it or not, we are just a few months away from seed going into the ground for cotton growers around the state. And with that in mind, many decided to attend the Georgia Cotton Commission annual meeting to prepare themselves for the coming season.
Whether it's insects, diseases, varieties, you name it. There are people here, to visit with and learn from each other. One of these meetings like this, extension specialists like myself, this is where we really learn, what the needs are across our great state.
While some pests like aphid and thrips are a yearly nuisance to these growers, there are always new ones to be on the lookout for when scouting your fields.
One of the main topics we're hitting at our local production meetings is tarnished plant bug, and that's a pest that's really increased just in recent years, so it's still new to some of our growers. So, we need to make sure growers understand that they are a potential pest, and we just need to scout for them, and if we have the problem, it has to be addressed.
Protecting the crop against diseases such as foliar leaf spot and boll rot are equally as important to maintaining yields, and the easiest way to do that is to have a proactive approach.
In my world, in plant pathology and nematology, perhaps the most important thing is to recognize that some of the most important things a grower can do happen before they close the furrow. Whether it's fighting nematodes or fighting bacterial blight or fighting fusarium wilt or fighting seedling disease, they have to do it before the furrow is closed. Your management options are very limited once you close the furrow.
This message is more important than ever this year, with a lower commodity price being projected to go along with record high input costs.
Margins are going to be tight, and I think at the end of the day, it's all about making every input pay. And entomology is a little easier than some other things. We can scout, and if we exceed threshold, yes, it is a good investment to protect that cotton from insects. But I think at the end of the day, it's trying to reduce that cost of production per pound of lint. We can reduce input costs, but we have to maintain yields.
And that's the goal for everyone on the UGA cotton team as they strive to meet all current and future challenges.
We in the University of Georgia Extension, we pride ourselves on coming up with research-based, non-biased information. Cotton growers in Georgia are a robust group. They've been through storms before. Admittedly, this storm is kind of tough, recognizing that cotton prices may not be where they want them to be. But they're resilient, and they recognize that a lot of the profit comes from investing in research and adopting research to improve production and improve profitability.
Reporting from Tift County, I'm Damon Jones for the Farm Monitor.
Every year, the University of Georgia puts on its ag forecast, which is basically a sneak peek into what the ag economy has in store. Some years, the outlook is good. Others, not so good. This time around, our John Holcomb says it's looking like another bumpy ride for growers.
Down in Tifton recently, the University of Georgia held their yearly ag forecast, an event that's meant to give insight into the ag economy for the coming year. This year, attendees got to hear firsthand insight as an industry panel discussed the challenges they've seen. One of the panelists was Will Bentley, president of the Georgia Agribusiness Council, who says farmers and producers are getting hit from all sides, but labor and input prices are by far their biggest concern.
I think our farmers are facing some of the issues that they faced over the last several years. Labor being a key component to the challenges in agriculture, whether that's H-2A labor, whether that's just normal farm labor, equipment operators, or even on the business sector. We're seeing kind of a labor shortage in every sector of our industry. For our farmers, unfortunately, I think it's going to be a tight year for commodity prices, but also going to see, if not increased, at least still high input costs. So anytime you have a lower commodity price but input costs are still high, it's going to be a tough year.
One person that knows that all too well is Carla Thompson, Vice President of Jet Farms Georgia, who says that finding good, reliable labor is by far their biggest challenge.
Our number one challenge right now in our operation, and that's across every aspect, is finding good help. So we are in a small town in a rural area. There's not a huge labor pool to begin with, and the types of jobs that we need help with are skilled jobs. So finding people to fill those spots and people that have the flexibility to help with the harvest side, that can be really challenging.
According to Thompson, the reason why labor is such a big problem for them is due to how labor issues end up affecting their entire operation, so much so that they've had to let produce go to waste because they couldn't get it out of the field.
It really does affect all facets of our operation, be it from harvest to planting to even finding people to help work in the office. So on the harvest side, where it really gets to be a problem is if we don't have enough labor to harvest the product from the field. That's especially a big deal when you look at sweet corn, green beans, blueberries. They don't store. They have to be harvested at the right time, or they're no good.
According to Bentley, to make matters worse, he says that policies and mandates have put even more burden and stress on farmers.
We're looking at mandates being passed down from the federal government dealing with adverse wage prices and increases for our fruit and vegetable growers that utilize the H-2A program. We're seeing more mandates on some of the crop protection products that we use that are very productive for our farmers. We're seeing, a tighter fertilizer supply and different things like that are a little bit more policy driven. So when the economics are tight, we want to make sure that our government's not piling on and hurting our farmers even further.
Reporting in Tifton for the Farm Monitor, I'm John Holcomb.
Oh, I can just feel the stress melting away from me right now. After the break, I'll explain how planting this little guy can make all our cares go away. After this.
Over the next few weeks, the Monitor is going all in on something very important, and that is mental health in agriculture. We're going to get real, folks, about the signs of depression, how to reach out for help, and even some quick tips to boost your mood right this very second.
Yes, and kicking it all off is our very own Ranger Nick.
All right, so new year, you got a resolution going. Maybe that resolution isn't working out so hot, and maybe it's creating some stress in your life. Well, let me introduce you to someone who's not only a horticulturist, a master gardener coordinator, an extension specialist, a home gardener, all things plants, Dr. Sherry Dorn. And I won't shake your hand just because your hands are all dirty. Right. So good to see you today, and thanks for joining us. What are you doing over here? I understand that you measure and understand the idea of the human dimensions of horticulture. Yes. What is that? The human side of plants, and how could this potentially reduce our stress?
All right, so good morning, Ranger Nick.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you're here in the greenhouse with me.
That's right.
So this morning, I am potting up some plants. You mentioned I was a home gardener, so I have been holding on to my plants. Last fall when the frost was coming, I collected my cuttings and I'm going to pot them up.
All right.
But you ask, what's the human dimension? So you mentioned feeling a little stressed. You drove over here.
Yeah.
Maybe,
I'm wired.
yes, maybe you had to deal with all the traffic in Atlanta. Maybe you've been working on your faculty report at UGA. So, you know, any of these stressors, okay? Well, when we turn our attention to plants, we relax. It is just less focused, less concentrated, and our kind of a natural response kicks in. So we can feel our blood pressure dropping, not fatally dropping, but you know, relaxing, right? Right? We just have a lot of responses. As we're working with the soil, there's sensory. Feel that, you know, and that feels good. If you know, if we smelled it, you know, it smells earthy. Okay, all of these appeal to us as humans. Goes back to, you know, our history, our evolution. So, you know, for the plants that we have here, we're actually engaging with. We're actually touching. We're actually potting. You want to give that a try?
Sure,
all right.
absolutely.
So I was just putting some potting mix here in the soil in the pots here, and we want to make sure that we probably want to get it all the way down in there. Those roots are pretty far up on the stem. Now this guy's pretty leggy.
Yeah.
And I'm putting it in a small pot, but I'm getting that reward. This is meaningful work. There's a visible result there, and that, you know, that's part of what we're after in the human dimension.
And it's a distraction away from something else in your life. And what I want to do next with you is, I understand you measure how folks respond to plants. And I want to go there and understand what's going on here on the campus of UGA Griffin. So let's march on over there now.
Let's go see.
All right, everybody, well, grab a seat. Welcome to class. Chris, we got a great guest speaker with us today. Dr. Dorn, good to have you with us. Listen, we've been talking about the importance of horticultural therapy and the idea of the human dimensions of horticulture. How do you measure that? We're looking at something behind us. How do you do that?
Right, so sometimes we will use survey methodology, all right? So we'll send out questionnaires. We want to get into the minds of everyday people. What are your practices? What do you do? What are your thoughts? What are your feelings? And then that's kind of what we call the subjective kind of perspective on human dimensions, but then we might ask them some objective. We might ask them, well, how do you do this, or how do you do that? And we get a lot of idea about the difference between the two. So we do a lot of survey work that way. But if we actually want to get into how our body is responding, then we might go to the lab and we might find some sensors and some meters and yes, I've been warned, monitoring that brain, seeing what's going on, seeing how our body is responding. That tells us that physiological response really gets in deep, and that's what a lot of scientists, some of our scientists have worked on as well.
And that's so interesting, because that self-report data that somebody's sharing on a questionnaire, like what's on the screen, it is quite subjective.
It is.
But when you got that biological data, hooking somebody up and measuring the stress, the blood pressure, the heart rate, that's pretty incredible and hard to argue with.
Yes, the brain activity. And we like empirical data. We researchers really appreciate empirical data, and that gives us a very vast perspective. You take that subjective, you take that objective, and then you take that physiological and you put it all together, and it just confirms what we know intuitively.
So Sherry, in this new year, if I have some stress or know someone with depression or anxiety, what are some things that I could do or encourage them to do to reduce some of that?
Well, that's the cool thing about horticulture. Very simple tasks, very rewarding. Like this plant here, it's very obviously root bound. It's pot bound. It's the roots are hanging out here. So it's saying give me a new container. So just simply the act of repotting, being able to get this plant out into a new container, a new home. So that gives you the experience of working with the plants, working with the soil, and that very purposeful, meaningful activity that's really going to help you if you're struggling with some of those other issues. And if you need a pick-me-up, go out and collect some found flowers. You've got the art of pruning, you've got the art of making flower arrangements with found materials. You will find great pleasure and great reward from these activities.
And all of this stems from the idea of helping us. And folks, what a neat thing. Doc, thanks so much for your time today. I so appreciate spending time with you and talking about such an important topic. Well, you know what to do. While you're online looking up more about horticultural therapy, hop over to the Ranger Nick Facebook page, check out what I've got going on there. And until next time, for the Farm Monitor, as I always say, Sherry, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for watching. We'll see you right back here again this time next month. See ya.
Up next, you're going to meet an incredible young lady whose life took a dramatic turn after she discovered the healing power of horticulture. From battling personal hardships to finding solace in gardening, Chelsea's journey on the Farm Monitor continues.
Before the break, Ranger Nick took us on a fascinating journey into the world of horticulture at UGA, shedding light on how it's not just about plants, but a powerful remedy for those grappling with mental health challenges. Well, now we want to take a closer look at how this therapeutic practice is changing lives, specifically Chelsea Korzenko, owner of Daffodilly Farms in Cherokee County. Once struggling to find purpose in life, Chelsea stumbled upon horticulture therapy and discovered a newfound sense of purpose and fulfillment. The Chelsea Korzenko you see today is not the Chelsea Korzenko from 5 years ago. Back then, her world was dark and uncertain. She was grappling with a broken marriage, battling depression, and living with her parents as a single mother. The future seemed bleak, and Chelsea felt lost, not knowing what her next steps would be. But one ordinary day, when the weight of the world seemed unbearable, Chelsea pulled herself out of bed, made her way to the front yard, and sat down in front of this majestic tree. Little did she know that simple act would change her life.
I grabbed the ground, and I remember that feeling, finally, of feeling safe and held, grounded. And I looked around me, and for the first time, I started seeing that color again. I started seeing trees blowing in the wind. I felt present. Everything that was going on in my life, that internal war happening, was peace.
It was this profound experience that led Chelsea to discover the power of horticulture therapy. She realized that cultivating plants and connecting with nature could heal not only the land, but also the human spirit. So Chelsea embarked on a journey of healing and growth, immersing herself in the world of horticulture. She enrolled in courses, attended workshops, and learned the art of gardening as a therapeutic practice.
So we're all very stressed. But there is research out there where they have evidence-based research where when you connect and use your hands, the cortisol levels decrease. And to me, that is such a powerful thing. As you work with your hands and step out into a garden, you know firsthand. Honestly, it doesn't really need to take research to understand that.
Nowadays, Chelsea is an aspiring horticulture therapist, interning at the Trellisability Garden, where she is making a profound impact on the lives of others. With her gentle guidance and compassionate nature, she helps individuals find solace, purpose, and healing through the magic of plants.
Chelsea, some people get it and some people don't get it. You have to have this empathy. You have to be a caregiver. Some people are not caregivers.
Push the soil
Chelsea, in loving beauty and nature, and having that ability to, have empathy for people that have suffered some level of trauma or their lives have been upended, even grief.
I have learned how to personalize the gardening activities with the people, and that is the biggest thing. is the client care and learning about their stories and figuring about where they are and where they want to be, and having to find gardening activities to match that for them, and seeing what lights them up is really fun to experience and learn, and being open to them and figuring out how to bring, socialization is very key there. And so how to bring what I do over here in this farm to them in a social, specific goals. And learning that has been amazing for this profession. You can't learn that in class.
But Chelsea's journey didn't end there.
So this is our sensory bin here, and we bring clients here to smell and feel all the different textures, to see the different patterns.
Inspired by her newfound passion, she decided to start her own business, Daffodilly Farms, an oasis of serenity where people can find respite and discover the power of nature. The name was inspired by a life-changing trip to England, where Chelsea witnessed firsthand the breathtaking beauty of daffodils in bloom.
I was obsessed with William Wordsworth, the Daffodil Poem, and visited his property. And he wrote that poem after he lost his baby. He went up on top of the hill, and there's a spot, and I sat down and I saw it, and he looked across the beautiful green rolling hills of Lake Grasmere, and there was the daffodils blowing in the wind. And I got to see that. And I didn't fully appreciate it then until my life turned upside down and I felt that decapitating grief. And I realized, oh, he found hope through flowers. And so when I was creating this farm, I loved daffodils. I didn't really think that was the name, but then I was like, you know what? I'm silly, I'm fun. I found that part of me again. Daffodilly, that makes me laugh, that makes me smile, and that's how it was created.
Yes, Chelsea's business is flourishing, and so is her personal life. She found love once again and remarried, leaving behind the shadows of her darkest days. Today, she is happier than ever, radiating a joy and purpose that inspire everyone she meets. When asked if she could go back in time and speak to her troubled self, well, suffice it to say the conversation would be one filled with emotion and, more importantly, encouragement.
Keep going. That's what got me through the darkest days then, and it gets me through now. Now I know my faith is ahead of me. I did not know that then. All I saw was fear. I thought fear belonged in the future. I have learned through this process that fear doesn't belong in the future. It's only here. It can't belong in the future. Faith is there, light and hope. And if you just keep going, I find that fear just comes behind you. It just walks behind you if you just keep pushing through it.
Sharp young lady, isn't she? Unfortunately, time for us to go our separate ways, but thank you so much for making this show possible.
Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time right here on the Farm Monitor. Have a great week.